What's up? This is Trip up on the, it's up here in the third level. As you can see, it's quite empty still. Um, I have my, I'll try to pan slow. I have my printer, fax and copier here, right? This is like, just like my new channel. This goes down, kind of pan, try to keep it slow for y'all. This goes down. It goes down to the second level where a lot of there's 4 bedrooms down there. And as you can see, you got wings, each one. It looks out north, south, east, and west. Show you over here. Turn this way. Got another wing here. And here. And then coming back around, we get to go into the main part of the third floor, which is wide, totally wide open. Closet. There's a walk through. See if I can. Right here, it's a walk through. I won't have to do all this silliness when I have my live stream capabilities back in place, but there's so much space here, so much unlimited potential up here that it's just unlimited. That's all I can say. It's unlimited. And so, skyline of Lansing. You can even see the top of the Capitol building. It's over there. So, yeah, time for work. Hot as hell up here because the AC, the central air, does not come up here. It stops on the second and first floor, and up here it doesn't. So that means that really what I'm going to do is on this side over here, where I've got this window here, because I got to fix this window. There's going to be one of those units. There's going to be a unit put up here. And I may have to put one on this side as well, because this is by itself, this total square footage up here is, they said this is 1,300 square feet that's up here in just this space here. All right, so may put 2. Probably need 2. So glad you guys found it here to this new channel. We're going to get to a lot of business, a lot done. This is what I'm hoping. Get rid of a lot of interference that we have ran into from before. Hopefully we don't get the haterade, but that comes with time. Definitely does. But one of the things that I wanted to kind of talk about is the fact that judges. Okay, so how do they become to get a judge? How do you get to be a judge? You're elected. Now, a lot of officials are elected, right? And if they're elected, that means that you elect them in, correct? So they work for you, right? So here's what I say. Maybe try to do this. In each one of your several counties. All right, so start out with your counties. And what we're going to do is with the family, we'll have our discussion when we get in there this weekend, and we'll choose a person that is dealing with, not me, somebody other than me. For example, someone is dealing with a friend of the court issue. What we'll do is we'll start to put the heat upon the friend of the court, the county that they're in. And if that means that, calling up and asking legitimate questions and keeping the heat on them that way, then so be it. Oh, that breeze feels so good. Because you need it up here in this third level. Woo. But then also, by being elected official, there's always going to be this so-called magistrate that runs the whole show, right? So what we say is that if you know that this is a crooked, now I'm not saying all magistrates are crooked. They're crooked because they have to answer, to the system itself, and the system, if they're in the system long enough, they're going to be crooked and corrupt anyway. But what we want to do is those that are blatantly already formed, that thousands of people in the community are already wanting them out, then that's exactly what we start to do. We start to informing the people within the community of said person as part of the family. Then we put the pressure to get that judge or that magistrate out, and then put in the someone else that is more deserved of the title. In other words, if you have somebody in the family that has knowledge that the community can back, then in different seats, then why not start doing that seat by seat by seat? If you really want to participate in what's going on, and you want to change some, even though I know there's going to be kickback, but if you want to start to make changes, you got to get within the system. You got to tinker within the system to make the change. And once you're inside, you've got a whole new world that you can roam around in, and you can create. You can create your own world just by getting one in and getting more in, people more involved with their community instead of worrying about their own personal affairs, right? So you got to have your own personal affairs in order, or at least best as you can, and then move on to a county or city level. See, this is what we need. We have to get seats of power. And that doesn't mean that we're power hungry. It just means that you want to participate. You don't want to just see laws wrote and it just goes on without any objection. It just is boom. As soon as it hits the desk, it's signed. No, it's time for us, the people, right? Which I'm hoping we get a ton of the 99% to get in, to get involved. If we get the 99%, then there is no question that all of a sudden that you're going to start getting people that want to change what is going on. There's no doubt about it. That's what you want to see. That's what we are trying to accomplish. You can't just sit back and allow things to keep going and then saying, oh, well, it's the man. The man, the man, the man, the man, the man. Okay, if it's the man, then you be the man. You be the woman. Yes, it's a corrupt system. Now you make it real. You bring truth to it. You bring love to it. You bring, as this new phase, as you know, there is a tree of life. So this is going to be a different tree. It's going to be a tree of love, or you could say better yet, a tree of truth and light, or life. The tree of truth and life. That sounds better. The tree of truth and life. So that's what we start to do, is forming our little seeds. Hopefully we build the branches, we build the leaves, and we expand. We expand, hopefully bigger than the highest redwood or sequoia that you can even think of. But you got to start somewhere. You got to plant the seed somewhere, and just staying back and saying, okay, well, like I said, we're going to blame everything on somebody else. No, you're not participating. Participate. Even if people say, well, I don't have the qualifications for, okay, well, you're going to have qualifications for something. And if you mean to tell me that the 99% of us, we all get together, then we can do everything they can do and do it better. No question. Anything they can do at 10%, we can do at 99%. That's almost just like the analogy of us using our noggin. We only use a certain small percent of our noggin, don't we?
And that's the same example of what we are using here. You have 10% is ruling, or excuse me, 1% that's ruling everything. 1%. So why not tap in to your higher level, your higher consciousness, vibrate higher? That means that when you start to vibrate, and that means your intention and your will moves and manifests into others. And it likewise meets likewise, and it continues, that current, that frequency continues on. So that's what we have to do. Instead of being envious and jealous and who started this and who didn't start, and okay, well, he got this and I don't have that. No, we have to. If you think about people that have stuck together through the Great Depression, you can think of a lot of different organizations. For example, the Mormons, right? Even the Hebrews. They stick together. They may be a small group of people within a larger group of people, but they stick together. You might as well call them 1% of the 99 as well, but they stick together. And they achieve great things, don't they? Beautiful things, right? And guess what? A lot of people become envious of that because they don't understand how they can do all these things and not suffer all the failures that everyone else is suffering. In the communities that we are living in, if you tend to start to rise, then you have people throwing bricks at you like Ignac, and they will knock you down, see? Because they want, there's no other love like, misery loves company, y'all. So if you move into a higher level and people are noticing that, and you're not like, hey, let at least make an attempt to talk to them, then they're going to sit back and be haters. So what I say is, what I ask of everyone is to get that frequency out there, let them know what you're doing, and let's start making some changes for the 99%. This is exactly what it is. This is what it is. There's always a time for change, and we are that change. Anonymous is that change. You are the change, and now you just need to believe it. Is it going to be easy? Come on, common sense will tell you that. But are we here to repeat history over and over, or are we here to break through cycles? Everybody thinks that just because there's certain person in power, people in power now, that they will always be in power. No, that's the farthest thing from truth. Power changes hands swiftly. It just is. In our time, we see it as a long period of time, but in the overall, it changes quite frequently. There's always change. 500 years is nothing but a twinkle, nothing but a quarter sand pebble on a beach. So it's time for that change. And what does that mean? What does that mean to you? What kind of sacrifices does that mean that you got to take? It's what we got to think about. This is what we're here for. Strong. Financial independence. Right? We can do finance. We can take care. If you can take care of your household, then you can take care of your community. You can take care of what you need to. You can take care of the doctors. You can get rid of the middleman. Look how much money that you can save by getting rid of all the money man. So therefore, in the greater scheme of things, there's no middleman. There's no insurance companies. There's no need for any centralized banks of nothing. They're a bunch of bullshit. You don't need any of those middlemen. Tell them to take their briefcases and go home. And now you don't have to keep paying them $1 billion salary each year. No. And you don't have to keep paying the middleman because we don't need you. So that's one of the first things we need to do is to start sending them packing, and all of the business control goes to the people, and the people manage the people, because the government is the people, and we can manage the people. We don't need it to appear like a separate entity to control a small separate entity, have all the power and control over you. Those days are over. We can enforce our own rules and regulations within our own communities. You do not need to call the nearest policy enforcer for everything that goes down. You don't need to do this. Now, there's going to be a time of change, and during that change, and there's some emergencies, do what you need to do. But once this is over, understand that you're going to have your own emergency team. Understand you're going to have your own surgeons, doctors that are going to do what they need to do. Now, am I talking about an uprising of color? Y'all out your mind if I'm thinking about that. What I am saying is an uprising of the 99% that's been displaced, that's been put down for this section of time, this little corner of time, and now it's your time to get up, get off your duff, stand up, and then sit back down in a seat of power. That's what is waiting. Do you know the markets is waiting for us to make a stand? It's simple. While Italy is falling, while Greece was falling, while they got Venezuela down falling, while they are throwing stones at Central South America, while the whole world, Zimbabwe, they fuck Zimbabwe up. There, you see what they're doing now in South Africa. While everything's in a state of turmoil, guess what? We got us. And now it's time for us to get together with these important conference calls and meetings and start to establish how we get this done. It is not about we're not doing a monarchy here. There's no kings. There's no queens. It's teamwork. Those that want to do the work, those that are active, then they're, of course, going to be in the forefront. Those, because you always have a group of people that are active, and you have those that are content to be passive, to let people do things. And, it's a sad thing is that you have a lot of people that are okay with letting someone else outside of yourself, choose all the decisions for you in your life. And I think that the people that I'm resonating with are not like that. They're ready to take control of their own ship and destiny. So all of this shit about, maritime and you out at sea and you dead, we taking that back. Because we are now claiming our vessels. We are not lost at sea. We are on the beach. We are on that beach head storming through. That's what we're doing right now. And if you think I'm playing, watch the 99%. Watch how we continue to grow and grow and grow. And we do it in a right way, in a lawful way, and in a overall scheme correct way. So there is Gilligan's Island and Lost at Sea. Y'all play that shit. That shit's gone. Maritime shit, fuck that. That shit's gone. We are at the beachhead. We are ready to let the bulkhead. We are ready to let the fucking back of that ship is ready to come down. And we're coming and storming on the beach. And isn't that a sad thing? Isn't that a sad thing that you can't even enjoy if you don't stay in a fancy hotel on a beautiful coastline where there's a beautiful beach, and you don't participate in Hilton's hotel or all these big Trump towers and all this shit, then you can't even enjoy life's beautiful things because you ain't a fucking paying customer. They will take your ass off the beach if you don't have a room in that little section of the beach. And if you notice, it's all across that beachhead. So take it back. Take it back. At last I knew, this is nothing but land and territory. And as last I knew, really, it's yours. All you got to do is assert yourself. And that's it. Take down them false flags. Stand by a true constitution. And get to work. All right.